الشيش وچين خاصتي التكت يوهان اشتقا خطتي خنخ سيداyaa Shkalneekx'í أوه aadé ʼatudli. Ye أوه ʻakatuwaneek يخستيني وش ياد كقواق أوي كخشهت كوكسا أوي أجاغو قاقو أتحسبو آتن ye أوه أشقا كوكو كقوشايخ كوندهين سا أوي كخشهت ياد كوكسا وي لينجت آني ويتقو خستين وي Zuckerberg ai akach we atki koch kashhidi jishaguni an awe sukach shahit yarlingit ani walisaku qashach shachayik qunachu jishqat qut tagish khatnatasahini atling deslin ak kunakawu shitka khutzada ka khutznu dechasai khutzati aku audan qir kuyu shat kwan takjik an kwan henya kwan tant kwan kasanya kwan ye awe ka an kasaku ʻakatuwaneek yisakuwatsu yakudat kakuan deshu shqakwe natasahini atling deslin ak khuna angun shitka qir sitka qachkhana ak shawak shan sit kitch an ish kwan khagu ge awa kakashahit yata sagutin kunakadet adata we yutahtatan we hini yegi ya kunakadet we adat yutahtatan kayata uchja yegi yukakwasa yak away with atki kakashahit sakushta aqa awe ha'it with the shia we ha'ik qawusus ya hasujid we kushta qwani qaqunaqdi ya awe yak haswutien hilkaden khosaku hastu shagun Shkalneekx'í gudachsa hasqutzati ye awe khwaach ya chaqut ani ye wuti Kakhan kadunik kuchsa qanach adi awe aye haswutien kuk hit aya has outlier adachawe haswul gasen hasja ani dach ach awit aku yich haswul wulshagaz awe ya kuk hitan haswusati wega Yekhwaji wit ako yich aya haswulgaz in ako ye ishkitan qoa yekhwaji ya tak ana dakhwe ishka hit yi dakh aya hasbu aten ya kanakhwe naki aqa dakte yank hekhwasa kudaqasa we marsh like you do sago at Okay, kushta kakuqa hasta ani khustien washya kaya hitasa washekh aqa awe natasihin qadeslina de haswa ishka hit yidakh kukit yidakh chaqut yede qoa Daḳká de haswugáas'in ch'ak aqaya ye haswutien qoa we de shitan ha daklawedi yan yedi okay haswutien aqa awe ade haswuat we ishkitan hakokitan ye awe hastu shagun ya uhan dekat yede awe wutu aten chak ya haswo aten owe ya hashil kohas Wooch de seigen has du tuausagu ya Daďká Lingít sag echi kat sa echi naedi shiadeheni at Daďká was ya kat kikatsu chagut kek aya kewu kina age ya dasa klesh has du ji washe Daḳká aye oti Tek yedi gwashiwe Shach hech edin chosaku chokli choa just na ki ani tak an ya natasihin ka atlen ka deslin ya acho at the katwe Lingit ka ye awishte ka khatati wutu shiadaheni at yak ako Keka ayake uwa wat ako yich Seidayaa ye awe kektehin du si wutsu Seidayaa wudu sagan du toasagu du shashu yihiti yich aya ye kutu ul de katu han just Lingit enach ha ina Kayaaní ach in kunai kay du shu disganach de katwe Lingit gachisaku adachte shi akhe ha wutian okay sheesh oh
aadé aadé too.
okay yeah qanachtidi aye haswutin ishke hit qanachtidi hiti ya akho ishke hitachwe ohan gwash adachas yaw sedaqqa ishkitan ya wushkitan kagwantan shtakadat wetan huji ai chagut na adachaya has yaw sedaq okay Belchisha isa akhi
Ḳuwugáas'in potlatch house. What you just showed us had a line.
Oh.
And so I think it was saying that at Marsh Lake, there was once a potlatch house at this place. There. Taik. My impression was that just great big houses were built and then they had potlatches there, but this makes it sound like a separate structure.
Yeah, I was a good dasa ayewuti. Hini what? Kuksawe huk. Dasa itle kachina huk. Huk.
Okay.
What hin shock huk koa.
Head of the
Sandbar or a sandy beach. Because that place, there's that sandy beach on Marsh Lake, and that's the place that's Hushtahuku. Although the story I heard was about a Daďká Lingít. Okay, sheesh.
Do you have a copy of Tagish place names?
I have a printed copy.
Okay.
I want to, is it scanned? You know?
I search it. But I have Adobe Acrobat.
Oh, you have a scanned version of it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I have a scanned version. Do you want it? Okay, I can drop
Yeah,
it.
I could put it on the
I
curriculum.
forgot who sent it to me, but don't say I.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of get stuff. I never even know where any of it comes from.
Yeah. I
It is
Sometimes-
available online. I was
okay.
the one, and so you can find it.
I'll put it in the chat just to make it easier.
Okay. So what's it say? Don't say where you got it from. I was like, who is this? Wrong number.
Wrong number.
I'll put it under in texts under Sydney.
With that disclaimer, I found it on a publicly available website. I did not do anything. I did not use any access I was not supposed to. It was a simple Google search with some key Boolean terms.
Hachayat Kayaaní Sydney. Echwasaku Adusa. Squat Echwasaku Guksa. That's all you gotta say. Your honor is just a blessing we received. We don't even know where we got
I'm always like, I can't remember who sent it to me.
it.
No, I don't know who's Kahat knocked at.
Yeah, that's. I think I just woke up one morning. It was in that Google Drive. I don't know how Google works. Okay, now I gotta save it. Yeah, and there's a big old map that goes with it too.
I don't know. I don't have the map.
Oh,
You have that? Do you have that? Yeah, because I'm trying to do place names for Teslin, and somebody said that I don't know, but somebody said at Lands and Resources that they have a map that they did with the language.
oh really?
Nobody knows where it is.
Yeah. You can never tell if stuff is just stuff getting lost due to changing of hands or maybe inefficiency or somebody's hiding something. It's always weird to me. I'm like, these are like places. Don't we want everybody to know? But
Yeah, I asked about it on Facebook. It's the best way to ask for it. Yeah, everybody's like, check with Lands and Resources, but yeah, I still haven't. But I have some place names just from Anyashahash.
I got a big list from
For Teslin? Really? Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Have a little place name section.
Oh wait, I don't even know where I got that.
No. Classes Canuck. I have a language question.
Hey.
Shkalneekx'í. There's a beautiful, complicated line that I would like to know more about.
Ooh, okay. Let me open it.
Dakun hundred Geshuk Kleka Dakun. Yeah.
Oh.
God, the young man says something.
Okay, what's the line?
494. Dakun 194. Seidayaa Shkalneekx'í ʼakatuwaneek. Yes, right there.
Seidayaa
Ākatuwaneek.
ʼakatuwaneek.
Just
So the
seems.
Daṣaya ʻakatuwaneek. So ʻakatuwaneek would on its own be the thing I came here, the thing I went after. Daṣaya ʻakatuwaneek. Whatever it was that I went after. ʻakatuwaneek. I think you'd end up with, don't let me leave without it.
Right.
It's something like that, because it's very hard to do prohibitive to yourself. So I think you end up with something. So this is the prohibitive, or what we call the optative suffix. So it pops up whenever you're telling someone don't do it. Don't eat it. And it also pops up when you're saying, I hope it's this way. I hope you eat it. And so I don't know why it's that way, just is that way. But as far as tesh, not, aqud, without it, from it, or from here, ḳuwugáas'in. So I think that's why you end up with let me not leave. So it's doing something a little bit more complicated, because you could say Daṣaya ʻakatuwaneek kesh aqud ʻakatuwaneek. Whatever I came here for, I'm not going to leave without it. But that's more of a declarative sort of a thing. In this case, because you could also probably say, I have to think about this one. Daṣaya ʻakatuwaneek. I should write these down. Hold on. Let's go down the bottom. I'm just gonna make a new document. So if we had this, and we're gonna change font. This is our statement, Daṣaya. So it's this part, right? So we could say this exact same thing, and you could say kesh aqud ʻakatuwaneek. And that's, I am not going to leave without what I came here for. Right? Like all those things are in Tlingit. We got to change the word order, and the for part is a little interesting. Right? And these are things that do get people mixed up when they start going from English to Tlingit. It's all these little linking words that they're trying to find. And then you could say Daṣaya ʻakatuwaneek kesh aqud ach. Okay, so you'd say Nahwa. I think you'd say Gutqa. I think that's how you'd say it. So I don't leave without what I came here for. But then you would want to tie that to another thing. And then, but I think there's these ones that go like this. They go kesh kwan. Oh, I'm gonna have to pull the. Okay, I have to open up a document to find this one.
Goodness, geez.
So now we'll start tying it to other narratives, which would be Hajit Guhi. So it's really fun when you know these things, when you study them a lot, because then you're like, oh yeah, that's just like this other thing. So now we go back to Hajit Guhi, who is Qanakhtaidi from Klakwan. And as he's sort of telling the story about, well, he's sort of not telling the story, but he's using a speech to tie to this story of the sea lion and the ptarmigan. And then he says, don't ever let any of you fall off into the sea. So there's something about this ḥuan in here, which we don't see, but that's like, don't let that happen to you. Don't let that happen to you. And so I think that's what we're ending up with in here is something similar to that, is don't let me leave without it, I guess. Coming back to the, oops, I had to type that. Seidayaa Shkalneekx'í. But I don't know what you would call that verb mode. I'm sure there's a name for it somewhere. So that I don't. But then if you want to look at that, that seems to look like that looks like a negative perfective with that prohibitive type of suffix on it. So don't let me don't let me eat all of the cookies, because I have no self-control.
So where would the for come in for this? For this? Is that like tied into the verb?
It's the qa.
Oh,
So qa can mean for, but it's like, I'm going to go over there and I'm going after it. It's more like after. But in English, we would translate it as for. Because you say, I'm going to go after coffee. That's how Lingit would say it. But it's like, I'm going to go for coffee.
okay.
And that's like, I'm going to get it at a coffee stand or at the store. So you could say, good day, Kayaaní good. Daďká sa. What are you going after? But that's how Lingit thinks about it. And so then when you translate it back, you could say, I'm going to go over there for money.
Okay.
Get some money over there.
So that's the same. Is that the same that the one that's like where you could transition a story and it's like aadé?
Yeah. After that, or following that.
Yeah.
It usually means
so it could do both.
Yeah, like, and so I would think of it as after. Then there's a related one, I think, which is yiqa, and that's usually waiting for. So you could say yiqa. I will wait here for you. And usually you're going to get some sort of positional verb or some sort of like I'll sit here and wait for you. Or you could say we were waiting here for you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be slow.
Would you be like we were waiting for you forever?
Stay away. Talk day.
Okay, so you're just at it. Okay.
Yeah. And you can make oh.
And then if you were to say that and then you, would that be like
it was long ago?
That would just be like it was long ago.
Yeah.
I thought that there it was like kind of it was long ago, and then you makes it even longer.
Well, I think you say chalk, and then when you go straight to the verb,
yeah,
it seems like that verbed for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Chalk owe. The once you put owe or a you, it pushes it into like
its own thing.
It was a long time ago, and that's how you sort of differentiate. And chalkude for a long time up until now. Chalkudach from long ago. And so yeah, it's really interesting how flexible that one seems to be.
Okay, so you could say it right before the verb to really insinuate that you were reading a long time.
Yeah. You could say Chuyadeyahanan as if we're dying, because we've been sitting here waiting for so long. You can get very dramatic with your Lingit if you want. Other thoughts or questions? These are big, huge, huge stories.
I did write down the phrase somewhere around 440. Seidayaa Shkalneekx'í akua. I skipped this part of the story.
Oh.
I think it's a very useful phrase and should be before 443.
In this one, or is it different?
Yes, in this one, it's before the juniper branches.
Oops.
So, let's see. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Yeah, way early I found it at
Oh.
110. Sorry.
No worries. Oh, okay. Yeah. So so you have a yanach. So a yan. This gets a little confusing because you could say a yanach to be too much, but you could say a yanach to mean to go past the face of something. And so you could say hundake yanach yikoch. You drove past the store. And everything seems like I guess I'm in the mood to chew people out today. Or you could say, you don't drive past me. If someone's coming to pick you up or something. So a yanach would be past it. Yak Yak I don't know if we're gonna see if we can find that one.
Miashahash always says that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yak. Okay. Okay. We'll go to Neek, see if we can find it.
Yeah.
So just moving through here, we have, let's just go back to the beginning. So we have Hatkanikuhich. The report came. Wooch Hasakaudanik. They couldn't get the story straight among themselves. They made a mistake and told on them. They mistakenly told on themselves, which is interesting. Kayaaní would be they just tattled on themselves. Ḳuwugáas'in, they told on someone, tattled on someone. ʼatudli.átk, they're bearing their soul. ʼAshkalneekx'í, they are explaining what they're doing, the way they're working on something. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Kayaaní, they are misrepresenting their words. ʼakatuwaneek, told something misleading, made someone look bad. ʼakatuwaneek, told it over properly this time. So this one has the things we're looking for, which is, I think her version, there was ʼakatuwaneek, but did it have an L classifier?
Mm-hmm. It has an L.
Okay, ʼakatuwaneek.
Ah.
Oops, I'm getting myself wrong. And so this has the things we're looking for, but it has a 0 classifier. So then we say, okay, well, maybe ʼakatuwaneek would be to tell the story correctly. And so then we go on, we say ʼakaneek, ʼakatuwaneek, we know those ones. Kayaaní, to tattle on someone. One time sometimes when you have kids that are younger, one of them will come and tell you what the other one did that's bad. And I said, ʼatudli.átk. And they said, I'm not tattling, but and then they went on and told me what they did. It's like, ʼxuwugáas'in in front of it means to explain something. Kayaaní is to translate or interpret. ʼakatuwaneek, yelling the words out before each line. I didn't know that one. That's cool.
That's
So
very
that's
cool.
like when they say, you know how they'll yell out the verse right before it comes. Here comes this. I need my sunglasses now. ʼakatuwaneek, saying that it is. ʼakatuwaneek, telling the story. Shkalneekx'í is a story. ʼakatuwaneek, if trying to deceive someone. ʼakatuwaneek, talk someone out of it. Yaduwadlaaḳ, starting a story. ʼxéig, it's a easy story to tell. It's a fun, interesting story to tell. X'éig, got even with someone. Oh, I got a story about them. They're telling stories on me. I'll tell a story on you. Yaduwadlaaḳ, told a story about them and against their wishes, kind of. Kayaaní, told them what to do. X'éig, telling stories regularly. Yaduwadlaaḳ, oh. ʻaq'ín, they're gossiping with me. How fun. Wooch, okay. Danikt, gossiper. And then we start to, and so I guess the closest that we could find is getting to this one, which has what looks like probably a decessive suffix on it. They had told it properly. And so I think if you say ʻakatuwaneek, it's probably short. It's probably a 0. But in this case, ʻayanach ʻakatuwaneek, or ʻakatuwaneek, ʻayanach ʻakatuwaneek. They skipped a part of it. Cool. ʻakatuwaneek, so that is I did it. So that does reveal, because yeah, she uses it as a perfective. And so because she uses it as a perfective, we now know it's a 0 conjugation, which is helpful, right? And so yeah, so I went past that part, and that yaka, there's really interesting things that happen with this, because if you say, and there's some of these verbs, it's because people did work with these speakers when they're alive that now we know what they are. Like another one was, we're working on this story in advanced Tlingit, which I'll show you folks. And they're doing a great job translating it. And there's a line in here. Let's see. This one. So you say away, yan away, ayakawaqa, yakak. So this one with the ya and the ka, like we know what that is with ka on, or ya on there, yeyawaqa. They said this exact thing. But if you say ye away, yan ayakawaqa, that's how they talk them into it. So that's to talk someone into something. So it's so fun to be at this phase of Tlingit where you're learning all these little very fine details on how to move these things around. Okay. Yeah, there's so much good stuff I don't know of any other uses of this gwech verb. It might be just specifically for a little bird to toast up human eyeballs. But it could be to cook something really fast too. Kind of searing, toasted eyeballs. And that little bird was like trying to swipe. It was trying to come at her. It was like grabbing a blanket out of her hand. I don't know what that bird is, but that bird is at the bottom of this lake right over here. So if you see little birds around this lake, don't point at them and laugh.
Renee,
Ah,
that reminds me of the story about the people who fell asleep and died, and the people who were out in the kayak. The narrator, this bird something kept flying around, and he hit it with the paddle.
that's hold on.
I'm not.
Yeah, like it's such a neat
It wasn't.
time when one thought leads to so many thoughts. That's
But
kake.
the whole thing about something that flies around and then a lot of people dying as a result.
Yeah. I think it's, let me see, hold on. I've almost got it pulled up. I think it's this one. It's called Kayaaní. And so there's here. And when he says awe wasak shek washin da khitwe atwe bird yesu akhanti khataya tuqa. What he's talking about here, lately I have been reprimanded just lately for using English. He liked to use English in his stories. And I think in between telling stories, he got bawled out for using too much English. Yeah, so they were falling asleep. And they all died, yeah. So here, it's a similar, yeah, it's an interesting thing. And then they said, what was that thing that kept flying past his face? And so I think it starts here. Dasa du yach wudakinch. Ayat du ishidzi. Du yadat wudakin. So yakunugo awe du achai. Awe you ausane. Ayat awe wudakin. Awe yak you zagid. Dat sayat yak X'éig kachat. Awe wasak shek washin tawe chitwe atwe bird. Yeah. Where's the part where it bothered him? Oh, ayah du ishidzi. So here's another one of these things, right? So we know yak. So I could say kun gao sa I kekwak. Kun gao sa I kekwak. What do you think that is? These ones are cool. I'll show you some other examples too.
Yeah, like what time is it? It will be good. What it will be good. And
So you say do I shidzi. And then I could say do I ausaku. And I could say do I yak a. So we use they for all of these. Do I shidzi.
it's easy for them.
Not easy though.
Oh, not easy. It is hard, difficult, opposite.
Right, for them, right? ʼatudli.átk. And this, I'm going to change it to ach, just so we don't have two third persons. What could that be? Okay, let's
I
do.
know it.
Well, yes, because of this. And this is it's tricky how this one, how the pronouns affect the verb. They made it known to me. And ʼdu'íyake. It is good for them. But not like, I don't think that one's always like, it's good for you. Like, eat these vegetables, they're good for you. It's more like, and that's why you could say ḥuwugáas'in. Maybe if you get it down just a little bit. Yeah. Ďakáx'í. Okay. ḥuwugáas'in. Now what do we get? So this
How
is
long are you going to be good?
ʼdu'íyake. It's good for them, or maybe it's good to them. How's that? Maybe that's a little better. It's good to them. ḥuwugáas'in.
What time would be good for you?
Yep. And again, this for part is like, what time would work for you? Right? That's really like in a Tlingit speaking world, it's a good thing to know. Like, what time do you want to do the thing? Right? And so now you don't have to say, what time are we going to go to the restaurant? You say, what time would be good for you? ḥuwugáas'in. Oh, Daḥká. Okay. Good questions. Other thoughts or questions? Those are really good connections.
Early in Tlanakidag, ʼsuwugáas'in aadé yanakik yeyak away. It's a directional that I haven't seen in Tlingit.
Which line is it?
About 60. Yeah, Tayadi. Let's see. They lay all around sleeping. Nope. I'll find it.
Yeah.
Maybe the first line on the next page. I'm not sure, but I was wondering about that. Yeah, if it's that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was toying with the idea of writing them as one word, but then like aadé yanakik. So this aadé yanakik. So like the way the sun goes. So you can build this aadé verb yeah. Like you could build that. You say aadé, your whole, like your verb phrase. You could put the ḳaqqān on the inside, but you don't have to. But you can have aadé verb phrase. There is a little rule here. If there's an I in the classifier, then there'll be an I at the end of the verb root. If not, then there won't. So, for example, you would say, ʻaqan aadé yaneexihyeyach. But if you say ʻaqan aadé wuhihiya, so you would have wuhihi, and you would have a suffix that's always low. But this aadé verb yeh, then you could put yach on there. So you could say, aadé yanakut ye yach aya aadé naku. Walk over there the way they are walking. So I don't know what maybe they're, I don't know. But yeah, ye yach is like the way.
And there are many old stories from other cultures that make it necessary to go in the right direction like the sun does. So
yeah,
if you're trying to get away from little creatures in Ireland, you have to know widdershins and sun direction. Otherwise, you can be trapped.
Yeah, you're doing like a little talking circle. Then we'll get lucky. That's how you
Then we'll get
sending it left.
Great. And Kayaaní, when they say juniper, and I was wondering, Chitwu or Yaduwadlaaḳ, if they can tell me exactly which tree they mean. Yes.
Juniper, do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's that low bush kind of.
Okay.
They make gin out of it. Sorry.
Okay. So it's a real juniper. Okay.
Yeah, that same juniper. But it's sharp, eh? Yeah.
Oh. Is that one documented somewhere? I think it's in the noun database, maybe.
I kind of thought that juniper berries were called X'éig, but I'm not really sure. I'll have to check again.
See, there's some interesting, like when you look in the database, so if you look up X'éig, it says it's either it says swamp hemlock. But then in the notes, it says locally called balsam brush or balsam tree. But a balsam is a different one than that, right? ʼAadé is the balsam, which means the sapless, pitchless one. But there's pitch, right? I always wondered about that. But maybe it is, maybe, and as we sort of put together, there's quite a few of these plants and little bugs and stuff, where I think when we start to compare notes, we might get a better idea of which specific plants those are. But I don't, because the only times I've seen it, I guess, is in dictionaries usually. But then when you have a speaker who's translating her own story and who's talking about that plant,
What clan was Seidayaa again?
Lingi.
Lingi. So her brothers would have been just her opposite, right? So I'm trying to figure out her genealogy chart.
Oh, okay, let's look at it.
Tashuka has information about Yeklao, and
Oh,
yeah, and so I forgot where I read it, but it was in, I think, Catherine McKellen's book that they were cousins. But my mom said to always be careful of what they gave the information Catherine McKellen wrote down.
oh, really?
Sometimes it always, like, people didn't always tell her the truth. And but I'm looking at this chart, and on Hashuka it says that Yechnau's dad was named Ishta and Naqe, but I didn't know if that was her brother and how this chart works.
Oh, yeah, because
It's Ishta Lawrence, doesn't say.
okay, this is Mary Anderson, so this is her daughter, right?
Mm-hmm. So is like the ones that are the same color her siblings or her one of her parents?
Oh, I think so. This shows her husband, like she had two husbands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe Takwati. Is that a So if we go this way with this would be her mother.
Yeah. Okay, so those might have been her kids.
Yeah, I think this way is her well, I just know this one is her kid. That's
Okay.
the one that I knew.
Yeah.
And she says by this name, but when I met her, she went by Seidayaa as well.
Okay.
But then, because there was another one, she had a brother that I knew.
I just find genealogy really confusing.
Yeah, this one is a little tricky.
Yeah, because it says Yechnau's father's names were Nage and Ichta, who was of the Taku people from Allen, and of the Yanyedi clan, an offshoot of the Dakszá.
And is he on here?
So that would have been Yechnau's dad. And so that's what I was wondering, because it just says Ichta for one of her sons. And then I'm just wondering if they're related to each other on their dad's side or their mom's side. Because I was trying to figure out because of the clans, because he was Yanyedi.
And he would be of this same generation as her.
Yeah,
So if you go this way, that would be someone probably with the same name as him, who's next generation down.
So it would be like what's not on here.
Yeah. Which would be, because then when we get to this,
siblings or grandmother siblings, which would be him if they were right, because he's Yanyedi.
oh, this is Elizabeth Nyman's grandmother's siblings.
Would that be her maternal grandmother?
This looks like Antonia Jack.
Yeah.
Shoot the sheet. They got pushed into the house. I heard her talk before.
Is that how come her circle is a different color?
Yeah, I think she's a different clan. Or let's see, where's the chart? Maybe there's a chart down. Because we got different colors too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charlie Johnson's children. Here's Yachgoots. He's mentioned in there quite a bit. Daḥká. So this would be like her. That's the auntie, right? The one that fell down.
In her life story.
Yeah.
So
here's Ichta. That would be about her generation. This should be about the same generation, I think. So this would be her cousin siblings.
And Yakyati, the colors are for the clans.
Okay.
So just there's a key to the charts when they start, and the Yanyedi are blue.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
what is that? Is that further up?
Oh, well, in the published, there it is. Yes, right there.
So black is Kokit.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get gray? I'm just kidding.
I wonder how there's a Dakszá.
Are there?
The remaining clans as well as Dakszá.
Remaining clans as well as the Dakszá. But they're not on here though, yeah?
They're not on there.
Sean, don't even get no color.
At least you got gray.
I retract my complaints.
So that could be him because Ichta was Yanyedi on here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it's very hard, like these, especially like I think as we go farther into the newer generations, a lot of these names get recycled. One of the things that I do see now, which maybe is something to think about, is I was at a ʼquwugáas'in one time. Who's to say how anybody should do their business? But I think they gave the same name to 3 or 4 different people. And it was interesting too.
Yeah, I think there's about 15 Sky to Ooze in Tesla. But I'm honored to share that name.
Right. Yeah, I mean, these are interesting the way, and then there's other genealogy charts in like Hashagun, which I hope somebody scans it. It's that long book that came out of the YNLC.
I can put that on my list.
I could scan it if.
Oh, you have a paper copy?
Because I cried about it.
Yeah, I have a copy of that.
Yeah, they did I was in this building probably in 2002, maybe. Gachklein was there. That's Nora Dauenhauer's uncle. And someone won. I was really hoping to get that book, and somebody won it in a raffle. And I came up, I was like, I was really wanting that book. I'm like, okay, you can have it. I was like, had to play the Raven card. Aadé, ʼakatuwaneek. Yes, and then you're gonna say, no. Gonna have, okay.
Sorry, my laptop died.
Oh, he should. Okay, so if you wanted to say, is there no way you can give me that book? So what we're going to do is we know that this is a potential. We know, oh, do you want me to plug in the TV?
Oh, I was just gonna hop on my phone.
We know it's 0 conjugation. We know it's 0 classifier. So we should get qiyya. Aadé.
Recording in progress.
We'd have aadé ʼakatuwaneek. So then we'd have, I do expect it to be long and high, I guess. Aadé ʼakatuwaneek. You can't give it to me. But then I say aadé ʼakatuwaneek. Is there no way you can give it to me? Aadé ʼakatuwaneek. And then they'll give it to me. Yeah. Okay. There was another project we were working on. Translation work on this story. It attached it under its tail where the hair was long. So one time, Mouse tried to get fur from him.
Did he know it?
We decided on a mouse, I think. Kakak.
I'm trying to say the ʼatudli.átk because they are trying, right?
They tried.
Tried.
You get the right verb. You got the right verb.
Would you put Daḳká before Kakak?
No, I put the mouse first because that's the one who's going to do the thing.
Trying to get first.
ʻakatuwaneek.
I say way do.
We need the from, or is that the verb doing that?
Yeah, we could do that at the end, sure. But like if I'm going to try to get it from them,
Okay.
it's our verb for get
Oh.
it.
Or that's like,
Yeah, that's more like catching or grabbing, which could work.
Would you have dujit in there?
Now I just need one more verb. Survey says
Kuch for plucking?
uh
No. Okay.
I think that's more like a pulling feathers.
how shot.
Awati,
What's that?
awati, maybe?
Awat
Yeah.
to like carry it. But like
Like- Take it, but
Oh.
I might be thinking of obtain.
Tsuyayanaka.
Obtaining.
Oh, okay. I thought, oh, Yaduwadlaaḳ. Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Kayaaní kakak akawaak we duchawa Yaduwadlaaḳ duji. What are you doing?
Dasaway da'ine.
Could you also say masay at nanin? Or would that be like how? Because that one Keishi will say masay at nanin iin.
What's up with you? What's happening with you? So that's more sort of like what's up with you? You know, or what's happening with you. And it kind of it's a very contextual thing. Like if I haven't seen you for a while, it's just like saying, so what's going on with you? But then if I think something's wrong with you, then it's like, what's happening to you? Yeah, and so but you could say the same phrase.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like
So it works for two different contexts.
yeah.
But not what are you doing then?
No, because that would just be like
More like what are you up to?
yeah, what is happening right now with you? My kids all froze up on me, Mouse said.
Yaki kukashti? Or is that specific to the lake?
It's the right verb, but it's maybe in the wrong mode. So if you say kukash, it should say, okay, this one has only an object. It's a D plus L classifier, and it's a zero conjugation verb. Anybody know Frozen? Oh, it's in that story. You say, we are naqalqi. And then it says, we are. Starts with wo.
Wultish,
It's got to go dle.
wudletish.
Wudletik.
Oh, short. Wudletish. Oh, looks like it now.
Yitki has wudletik. To finish this one.
I forgot what the name of our mouse was again.
Qaq.
Daḳká Lingít.
And we could easily say ye ayausaqa if we want to say he said it to him. I see it going either way. And you could also say ye adayaqa. I see it that way a lot in stories. I want some of your fur. I'm real curious about the sum of part.
ʼakatuwaneek. ʼaikawu.
You have all the right words, but one of them was maybe it could go in a different spot.
Ḵawu. Would you say the ḵawu in it if you wanted the ḳawu?
The ichawu, I think, could go on. The ichawu and ʼakatuwaneek could go on either side. I'm looking for
Some.
the word ah and where it might go. And when it goes there, it's going to change the thing that comes before it.
Oh, because it'll make it a sporting? No.
At the end?
For chawu,
Oh, it's going to change the I.
ʼakatuwaneek. I want some. What's that song? Everybody wants some. Chaltakatqa. Hastutuwa'asaku. ʼakatuwaneek ichawu. I want some of your fur. So that could work for all kinds of stuff. I want some of that pizza, or I want some of that dana, whatever it is. Ichawu owe ʼakatuwaneek. A'katuwaneek. And so once you put something in between tuwa and sagu, this is going to pop back up. It just kind of disappears. Okay.
So grammatically, is it there all the time, but it's just when it's spoken, it sort of falls away?
Yeah, like for tuwa, yes, that is correct. And so, but there are like cook, like so when you say a cook, that can also be ka, and that can get gobbled up and it pushes that vowel long. And you could also say achyach on my face, achya. Right? It could both those things, it could gobble it up. Ituyeyeti. Ituyeyeti. Those it can go either way, that one. And then in this one, it's usually just gone. But some speakers, you'll catch them. I think there's a couple of recordings where qashqawu says dituwaqsagu. But usually it's just a little too tough to get to the sagu, so it just falls out. Good question. Well, get it from under my tail.
I don't know how.
Is it Yaduwadlaaḳ or Yaduwadlaaḳ?
Yaduwadlaaḳ.
How Where would the dach go? Could you say ḳuwugáas'in or ʻakatuwaneek?
Well, you're gonna say, you have to say where it's located at, and then from, it's gonna go from that location.
Okay, so Seidayaa
Aidach.
Shkalneekx'í.
You don't need the chawu on there, but you need to the under the what?
Oh, ha, because it's under the tail, right?
Mhm. So
Oh,
you
yeah,
gotta say
forgot
my
what we
tail
called-
under.
Forgot that we called the
What's that bear tail? I know we debated about it, but I won the debate. Someone will probably tell me it's a different one. Ḳuwugáas'in. And bears and deers and dogs and cats. There's lots.
Shayadihin.
So he did.
That'd be like ʻatudli.átk, or could you say that?
Just him.
Oh,
I guess you might say ʻaadé. So he did it. I don't know. Or you could say Daḥká. He did like he said. In the meantime, he chewed that flint off.
is this where you could use tiknach?
It's at the same time.
Okay,
I
so isn't that the same thing as meantime? Or what does mean?
think kiknach is like I'm walking and I'm whistling.
Oh, okay. And this is like, oh, two different things happening in two different.
Yeah, so and even in like in the meantime, it's like really though. I think because like he's saying, hey, I need some, but he wants to just get that thing, right?
Yeah, gal.
Gaga.
More like at this time though, hey?
Yeah. Maybe, what are we looking for here? What kind of like a actually type of thing? Or there's a whole bunch of these little sort of connector words. And so, but yaga would be like at this time. I think that works. Any other ideas, thoughts? What about chewing it off? Just realized I had a million windows open. Just need all of these things.
Is chewing different than eating?
Yeah, yeah. And then, so we're gonna go consult the book. We'll go to Story and Naish. We'll just go see what they got for chew, because we're probably gonna find a whole bunch of different things. And when we go look for chew, we'll also find things like gnaw and bite. And so we'll start with chew and see what we come up with. So ʻatudli.átk, duwaku, ḳuwugáas'in, and chew some tobacco. Let's check bite. an insect to bite, an animal to bite, a shark to bite. Biting for fleas, gripping onto something with your teeth, to bite it off. Ach, ausatag. And it even gives it to us in the perfective. How convenient. There you go. Daďká owe ach ausatag. Way Flint. We remember it?
In.
Ye away. The bear noticed it right away. That's a good to notice something.
You see it for the first time? Or
Again?
that one's to look, right?
Yeah, because like as far as like what's being said, it's like the bear could tell, right?
Like you could sense it.
Yeah. I would say Chayuk Ausaku. He suddenly realized, he suddenly knew, or you could say Chayuk tu Dishet. And so Ausaku is like Chayuk Ausaku. They came to know it. They suddenly came to know it. Chayuk tu Dishet. They suddenly that's more like realized, I guess. Like a sudden thought that grabs you. The right away part would be Chayuk or Chayak.
This point is the mouse or the bear the main character in the story?
Probably the mouse, because he's the one.
So then we have to say the bear again.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it was the mouse, we could just say ush, right?
Right. Well, if only if it's the object.
It
It only works for an object pronoun. Yeah. Chayuk. Chayuk wehoots ausaku. Wa sa atune. The bear suddenly knew what happened. That's what I would probably do, but there might be other ways to do it.
The wasa atune is the what happened.
And when you tie things to ausaku, it doesn't always need to be relational.
So it doesn't have to always turn into a subordinate clause.
Yeah, that's sati or like wune. Mouse threw it to the animals.
How good? Well, I can't remember that story. Yeah, our.
So throwing is one of those verbs where it's like, what are you going to throw? And so just a general plurals would be awaqich. To throw it and hold one end of it would be shuwaqich. And then to throw a solid object, which is what this would be, awaqich. So that gets us our verb.
Forgot.
The two?
ʻakatuwaneek.
Yes.
So that just pluralizes it?
Yeah, you can pluralize ʻatki. You don't have to, but that's to say like there's, if you want to specify that there's multiple. You could also say ʻat. But it looks like there's ʻakatuwaneek to me. Fox ran away with it.
Yaduwadlaaḳ.
Not by saying?
Right?
Thanks, Mom.
There's only one part that might be.
Tin.
I would probably say on. In, which can contract to on. So I'd probably say on ʻakatuwaneek.
Oh, because it's with it.
With it. Yep. And you kind of have three things here. This is one thing. This is another thing. That's another thing. You can move those three things around, but they have to stay as things. So there's our naq'eqi theory. You could say ʻwinaqatse ʻakatuwaneek on. ʻakatuwaneek on ʻwinaqatse.
It doesn't change.
And this verb, we're emphasizing the running part.
Yeah. ʻakatuwaneek would be to run away. Away from there. ʻakatuwaneek would be he got lost. We don't know about that. Oh, he crossed two valleys and here the bear can't catch him. Oh, there's a aadé coming.
Valley's Hina? Or is that a river?
It's like along the river, I think.
Hina?
Oh, Hinak. It's a little stream, like a little teeny creek that fish can't go into.
Ranach.
What about the over part?
What about kanach?
Say wujahich again. Wehoots. Aadé. Blanky blanky yay. Now let's go find it. So I do think we're going to use the catching him.
Shot.
I would use shot.
Oh,
One of them is to catch something, and one of them is to grab and hold something. I'm thinking of the grab and hold one.
A shot.
Yes, a shot is the verb we're looking for. So the things we know about this verb is it has a stem that doesn't go low. It has an L classifier. Anybody know the conjugation? If I were to say grab them. So now that gives us everything we need to dip into the conjugator. We're at zeros. So we're looking first for the qa conjugation, then we'll look for the L classifier. So we go through all the zeros, we go through all the na, we go through all the ga, and now we're start getting into, finally, qa. So now we know that this, the order of the conjugation, zero, na, ga, qa, every time we go into this book. The order of the classifiers, 0, D plus 0, S, D plus S, L. That is what we're looking for. And this is our prefix. Aadé, we do have a long high. It does have a letter I in the classifier. These potentials always will. And so that's why you're going to have the suffix at the end. So I'm just going to save myself from some memorization. I'll copy that. We just did a potential.
How come when we switch to the ku'a to the kwa, using
It's just a
just like I
reference.
oh okay okay because I've been using both like that.
Cannot or can't.
Okay.
There's no difference. If you're feeling like you're in a flow, you use kwa because it comes out faster.
And if you need a pause, you do ku'a.
Yeah, like call more attention to it. Out, cow de hit. Gonna cheese you, Han. There's not very many people in the world who could translate stuff like this, but y'all are among them. Okay.
Ganesh Escape mentioned maybe being able to. There's a beaver and porcupine listed from the Yukon Language Center. And I wondered if we could, it's on that list that Skydu gave us.
Oh, Seidayaa Shkalneekx'í.
Ah, it's like 302.
Like on the one page from the YNLC to request it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that recording?
Mhm.
Oh, you can.
I think it's just like a different version.
Yeah, because I've never heard like a big version of it.
Yeah, they took it and then I think because it is the beginner ones, they
It's like a little 10-cent.
simplified it for beginners.
Because they were like fighting over how many winters there should be.
There's a lot more to it, yeah.
Yeah.
But this one's the cute kids one.
Right.
They became friends.
Oh, they're friends.
Aww.
They're enemies for life. You can't even eat them together now.
Oh, yeah.
No.
We could have had beaver and porcupine stew. Now we can't ever have it. We can have it. They just got to eat them separate.
Can't boil them together.
Ďakujem, Johan Gulčíš.
Cheese.
Peace. Tiagen.
Huh.
Can you stop the recording real quick?
Yep.